Amy Glick, clinical dietitian at Barnes Jewish Hospital, and I'm here today with one of my favorite chefs to talk to you about the science of food and healthy eating throughout the holidays. So our chef here's prepared some great recipes that we're going to share with you.
You bet. Thanks, Amy. My name is John Beck. I'm executive chef at Barnes Jewish Hospital and Morrison Healthcare. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. This is so cool. We're going to have a great time. We've got 3 amazing recipes for you. We're going to do a holiday season theme. We've got some fresh turkey meatballs. We've got some wonderful sweet potatoes with caramelized onions and a cranberry glaze that's really going to finish it off and bring it all together. How's that sound?
It sounds great. I can't wait. So I'm going to talk a little bit about nutrition in general before Chef gets started here. So it's so hard during this time of year. It's the holidays. You know, there's lots of delicious treats everywhere you go. People want to shower you with treats also. But it doesn't have to be all bad. You don't have to feel guilty all the time. You can make good choices like what we're going to talk about today.
Exactly.
So a lot of people will ask me about diets and what type of diet they should follow. So what you really want to watch for is lots of fruits and vegetables. You know, we're not using that. Remember that old food guide pyramid?
Oh, yeah.
We're not using that anymore.
It's upside down.
That's old. Yeah. We're using a plate now. It's called My Plate. So when you're looking at your dinner plate, half of the plate should be fruits and vegetables, even more so non-starchy vegetables. And the more colorful, the better. So then we move to 1/4 of the plate, and that's going to be your protein, your lean meats.
Lean protein.
Exactly.
Yes.
So things like chicken, turkey,
Absolutely.
fish, lean
Tons of
beef.
fish.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then that last 1/4 of our plate are whole grains. So that can be things like brown rice, whole wheat pasta,
Quinoa,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, a
Fun
slice
things.
of fun things, exactly.
Make starch fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forget the potato. Give me something fun. Give me a fun potato. A nice sweet potato, a purple Peruvian
like we're
potato.
doing today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So in that last 1/4 also is where I would include your potatoes and your starchy things. So your peas, potatoes, and corn. And we just had a question come in. So we're live today. We want you to send us your questions if you think of some along the way. And we just got one. What's a starchy vegetable? Are they bad for you?
Oh my gosh. I don't think there's any vegetable that's bad for you. How can a vegetable be bad for you?
I would agree. The way you dress it, the way you fix it is what makes it bad.
I'm glad you said that because we're going to touch on that today with the ingredients that are going into sweet potatoes. One of the things I like to do is keep it simple. It's called clean eating, clean recipes. 5 ingredients or less. You don't need 25 ingredients. And when we get to the sweet potatoes, I'm going to talk more about that.
Okay, great. That's kind of a good way to look at a food label also. You know, if you buy things that aren't packaged, that's a good way to know usually that they're healthier for you. But when you're looking at a label, you know, stick to 5 ingredients or less. The less there are, the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've talked about diets. Let's talk about the grocery store. So when you're at the grocery store, where do you want to shop, Chef?
The perimeter.
The perimeter. That's where all your perishables are. So that's usually
where the good stuff is.
The good stuff, yeah.
And it's not in shiny boxes.
Right.
It's everything. It's a thing like this, okay? When you buy this, where's the label? There is no label.
There is none.
Because we know what it is. This is whole food. There are basically 2 types of food. There are whole foods and there are processed foods. There's really no gray area. So what we've got here today, everything is whole foods. So that's very important for me.
That's right. So we just got a question, Chef.
Thanks.
People say nut butters and rice and quinoa are healthy, but they aren't on the perimeter. Does that matter?
You know, sometimes they are on the perimeter, but of course that doesn't matter. You're going to have to get your grains there's going to be places where you go in the aisles because olive oil is not on the perimeter. There's the oil section and there's the grain section. So shopping the perimeter is just a broad way of saying stay out of the cereal aisle or stay out of the cookie aisle. Wherever you see a shiny box, just kind of stay away from it. But you're going to find things like our staples that are on the aisles.
Right, and that again, that's why reading food labels is so important.
Read the label.
Right,
Yeah,
then you can
don't
kind
touch
of
it.
gauge,
Absolutely.
yeah, what you're looking at the fat content, the sodium content,
And what's the one that we really don't like? The sugar
the
content.
sugar content.
And
Sure.
it's hidden in many ways. It's hidden in the forms of glucose, fructose, high fructose corn syrup. If you see that on there, that's like worse than sugar. So stay away from any of the toast things, neutros, fructose, high fructose corn syrup.
Dextrose.
Dextrose. All of those things are absolutely unnecessary in your food. They're truly unnecessary.
And according to the ingredient list, the higher up it is in the list, that means there's more of it in that food.
The first ingredient is the primary ingredient, and then it kind of goes down from there.
So we got another question, Chef. What's so bad about corn?
There's nothing bad about corn. What's bad about corn is processed corn. If you get like cream corn in a can, one of the first things is going to be high fructose corn syrup, then corn. So corn is fine. I mean, fresh ear of corn, I can't name a bad vegetable.
And I think it's also the rest of your meal too. Now, if you're eating corn, potatoes, and pasta, all that starch isn't very well balanced.
That's where where we go back to your first point.
Plate.
Is with that plate.
Yes.
Put everything in this little section. It'll be great. It'll be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, should we get cooking?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's start with, I've got some fabulous ground turkey, very lean. What are some of the good things about turkey?
So
versus
we're
beef?
we're using turkey in our meatballs here because turkey's more lean. So you can get lean, extra lean. We prefer to get the lowest fat possible, right?
Yes, this was 90-10.
90-10, okay.
So that means, what does that mean? When you see, there's 80-20, 90-10, 70-30.
Tell everybody, Chef.
Well, that's the amount of fat. The second number is the amount of fat that's in there. So it's 70%, if it's 70-30, and it says it on all the packages, it'll say 70-30, and that'll be a little bit cheaper, because it's 30% fat that they add in there and grind it up. If you see 90-10, that's going to be a little bit, it's going to be 10 cents more, but it's worth it because that fat is left out of there, and it's really unnecessary because it just doesn't need to be there.
Right, so that extra fat that's in there can contribute to increasing your cholesterol.
Yes.
You don't want that.
Yes.
Don't need any heart disease. And also by choosing the turkey, the World Health Organization recommends, avoiding red and processed meats. So their recommendation is 18 ounces or less per week. And the reason for that is more red meats that you eat, the higher our risk of colorectal cancers. So that's why, we're choosing the turkey because it's better for us. And for cancer prevention, heart disease, stroke. So that makes it a good choice. Yeah.
So let's get started. This is a very, very simple recipe. It's a turkey meatball, and we've added one kind of special ingredient. We're going to put cranberries in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to mix it in with it. So it's a traditional recipe. Let's start with one beaten egg. Okay, medium size. I've got some breadcrumbs. These are panko breadcrumbs.
Oh, so
which
what's
are
the difference?
Japanese. These are shredded a little bit coarser, so they give you a little bit more flavor and a little bit more crunch to it.
Okay,
it's more body.
which is good for a meatball, right?
Absolutely, it's perfect. So a panko breadcrumb, you can get them everywhere. And if you don't, you can use any ones, but I prefer those. We're going to add just a little bit of sea salt.
Just a little, right?
Just a little. It was it's a quarter teaspoon, 1/4.
Okay.
And then black pepper, as much as you want. You can really play with it. And then garlic. Come on, what are some of the good things about garlic? What does garlic have in it?
Yeah, garlic has a lot of good things in it. Garlic has some vitamin C. It's got calcium in it.
Antioxidant.
Antioxidant, right. Vitamin C is an antioxidant.
Yes,
so it's also got quercetin in it, which there's been some studies that show it might help lower blood pressure.
Oh, great.
And even cholesterol.
Yeah.
So that's still kind of things that they're investigating. But, I mean, it's a vegetable again, right? And we talked about how there's no bad vegetable.
How long have they been eating garlic in the Mediterranean area?
Oh, forever,
in
right?
Italy, okay? Some of the healthiest people in the world garlic, garlic, garlic every day.
Yeah.
So we got a little onion powder just to give a little flavor.
So onions are in the same family as
Exactly.
garlic. So it's got a
Exactly.
lot of the same nutrient profile in it as the garlic. So it's just really just as good as you.
We could use leeks, garlic, shallots. That's all in the lily family.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Just a
lily
little-
family.
I know. And it's
sounds
true. You
beautiful.
can look it up. So sometimes I make stuff up, but not today. And
You
then
know,
we're going to...
you know why I like this? Because we go to parties. This is something that you could make. This is pretty easy, right?
What? What?
So, but what's good about this is the protein in it can kind of help fill you up when you go to a party rather than
Absolutely.
overindulging. It can also help to eat a little small meal beforehand before going to a party, but starting with this is a good way to fill you up and not overdo it.
Oh, yeah. And what we're going to be doing, you'll see the size. And it's all about portion, too.
Right.
So it's about what the food is and what the portion is.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I use these little gloves all the time at home. You can get them at the grocery store, get them at Walmart. You can get them anywhere. And when I'm handling raw protein, I like to use these gloves. And then when I'm done, I can just toss them in the waste can and then move on to my next project at home.
Right, because food safety is so important.
And part of that's called cross-contamination.
Right.
We don't want any of that here.
Right, we don't want any bacteria with the uncooked meat to get on
Exactly.
your, something that you're
Yeah.
not cooking later
Perfect.
on.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I could use a spatula or a spoon, but the best way to do this is just mush it up. Get your hands in there, and really just work it around a little. I know everybody has made a meatball before. You've made meatballs.
Yeah.
I love meatballs. So as long as you put the right things in them, they're super, super healthy for you. When if you're going to use cheese, I would use a hard cheese. Like if it's an Italian recipe, we're not doing an Italian one, but if you add cheese, the harder cheeses are much better for you.
We can talk about cranberries too. We didn't talk about cranberries very much.
Yes.
So cranberries, they're so small, but they're packed with so many nutrients.
Concentrated antioxidants.
Exactly.
Yep.
So concentrated antioxidants like flavonoids and polyphenols, those are compounds that are good for preventing cancer, especially GI cancer, so that's something good. The fiber in cranberries can also be helpful for other diseases, again, heart disease.
Yes.
And that's because, the more fiber you eat, that can help lower your cholesterol.
And there's soluble and insoluble.
There
That's
is.
a big
There's
thing
two
too. I love
types
that.
of fiber.
Yeah. I love it. So here's what I'm going to do. So we've got this all mixed up. You'll see how long that took. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. I'm going to use just a regular soup spoon to do my portions. And if I just kind of mound it like so on a soup spoon, that gives me about 1.5 ounces. Okay, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to do little meatballs. You can do little ones, big ones, but you know what? I want to be able to use these in two different applications. I want to use them as an appetizer, and I want to use them as an entree. So if we make them small.
Okay,
So-
we got a question real quick, Chef. How
Thank
many
you.
meatballs are okay to eat in one sitting without being frowned upon?
Well,
For this recipe, our serving size is 2, and for about 2 meatballs, it's about 170 calories, I believe. So
yeah, and there's so much. What we've done, we've added the garlic, we've added the onions,
Right.
we've added the cranberries. We have made these so flavorful that you don't have to eat 10.
Right.
That's why if the food is bland, you just keep
Right.
eating and eating and eating. But when there's really good concentrated flavors in it, it's more
Hey,
satisfying.
have you heard of mindful eating before?
Of course.
So that's something, maybe you've been hearing more about
Yes.
that. But mindful eating is the practice of really enjoying your food and taking in the moment. So that's really
Yes.
important. You can start that at any time. Many people wait, Monday, I'm going to start my diet.
Yeah.
But this is something that you can do anytime. Start in the car, just be in the moment,
Start
and
tonight.
focus on your driving. Yeah, and then you can apply that to meals.
I do that sometimes, and I'll just sit and I'll look at it and try to think
Take it in, right?
how cool this is.
Yeah. It looks great. I did all that hard work.
It's not hard. This is easy.
Easy work, that's right.
This is easy. You kidding me? Nothing to it.
The cleaning is
So
the
now
hard part.
I've got my meatballs on my tray. I'm going to pop these in the oven. 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, if you happen to have a probe or a thermometer, we're looking for like 155 degrees, but you'll know when they're done. It doesn't take very long. When you take one out, it's going to be sizzling and bubbly, and it's going to be cooked,
nice and browned,
cooked all the way through.
Okay.
Cooked all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sure you give it at least 20 minutes. I would say.
20 minutes. Okay.
So we pop these in our oven over here. Okay. And while those are baking,
we did have another question come in that I missed. Is chopped fresh garlic healthier than powdered? I think the fresh would be healthier. What do you think, Chef?
I love going when I have an option for fresh or dried. I always go with fresh.
Yeah.
And especially with herbs like this rosemary we've got here. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you have all these dried herbs in your cabinet, you've got the parsley, you've got oregano, you've got basil, you've got rosemary. That lasts about 6 months, and you got to get rid of it, because after that, all the essential oils are gone.
6 months is a long time, though.
I know.
That's great.
But I've seen little jars of spices in people's cabinets that are like from the 50s.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Well,
you know
not that
what?
long.
I think this one needs to go. And I know you've seen it. You've seen the cabinets are jammed with spices. You start rooting around. Where's that sage? Oh, here it is. And it's in a metal container that they don't use in like 10 years. So that's, fresh.
You know what I have?
Fresh.
I bought minced garlic in the
Dehydrated?
can.
No? Oh, the chopped garlic in oil or water.
Right, yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
and that
fine.
works great. Then I don't even have to chop anything, and I always have it.
And you just use a teaspoon. It's so easy. So what we've got here now is
We're going to move on to the sweet potatoes, the oven roasted sweet potatoes and onions.
And this recipe is so simple, and the flavors pop out. This is what I was talking about before, when you're talking about adding sauces to your vegetables and butter and all these crazy things. You know, people put corn syrup, they put maple syrup, they just cover this stuff
and it's not needed
with the bad things. Because once you start eating like this, you'll be able to really taste the flavor of the food. Your palate's going to change over time, because this is fresh, real food. It's like, wow, I've never tasted this before. It's always been smothered in some kind of goo.
Yeah, you know, a question I get a lot is about potatoes, different types of potatoes. You know, obviously everyone thinks sweet potatoes are better than russet potatoes. Now, I think that they have different nutrient profiles, and I think, again, like we've talked about, it's more about how you dress it. But definitely sweet potatoes with that color, that's what you really want to look for in your fruits and vegetables, because that usually means there's more packed in there. There's more antioxidants, more vitamins, more minerals.
Oh, yeah.
So the sweet potato gets its orange color from beta carotene. And beta carotene is good for, again, preventing cancer. It's also got vitamin A in it, which is good for your eye health.
I'm telling you, this is gold.
It is, yeah.
This is a little
gold
pocket
nugget
of gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut this. Now, one of the reasons I'm showing you how to do this, because when we're roasting this, roasting vegetables is like my favorite way, either roasting or grilling.
It's so easy, right?
It's so easy, and then when you roast, what happens is the heat draws out the moisture and concentrates the flavor. So if you saute them, you're just covering them in some kind of oil, and you're really not getting that concentrated,
that nutrient.
the nutrients are concentrated. So what I'm going to do is, real quickly, I'm going to cut one end off here.
And you don't have to peel these first. You can eat them with the skin on, which is what we want you to do. You're going to get more fiber that way.
Ah, yes. And they hold up better when they're baking too. They don't fall apart.
They really do.
So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to cut this right down the middle.
Because they're kind of tough. They're kind of tough to cut and peel.
They're a little tough. So what I want to do is get it in a manner where it's flat, so it's not rolling around anywhere.
Cut your finger off.
So that's why I cut it. Yeah, that's why I cut it like this and laid it down flat. So I'm just going to make 2 cuts diagonally here, and then this will determine if I want a larger, move it down. But we're looking for about a 2-inch dice here, 1.5 2-inch dice. So we're going to add those to our mixture.
Can you tell us about your grip on your knife?
Yeah.
So that, I don't slip and cut my finger?
Yeah, this is kind of like just a real simple, I don't like holding it like this, because when you put your finger there and hold that, you got tons of control. Lots of control when using your knife like that.
That's something I learned recently.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
That's important.
It's very important. And just be careful, always be careful. So there are our sweet potatoes.
Great.
Now, let's tackle this onion. Here's what happens a lot. People are like, they get the onion. No, we're not going to cry. There's no crying in cooking. So people will start trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to try to peel this here and scratch it and run it around. Yeah. So what we're going to do is a very simple trick. We're going to cut the bottom off. We're going to cut the top off. Then we're just going to cut it in half. And again, what do we have? Flat. Nice flat surface. And then watch this.
It's magic.
It just
peels
comes
right
straight
off.
Okay. And then this is a very beautiful yellow onion.
Do your eyes ever water when you cut onions? Are you used to it now?
Sometimes I have other people cut my onions. I give that to a job.
Executive chef John Beck.
I tasked that out. So now we've got that. So that's a lot easier than trying to peel the skin off with your fingers when it's
definitely.
full. So now that we've got that, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to cut this instead of in thirds, we're going to cut it in half because it's smaller.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make our dices. And we're going to add those to our bowl. Okay.
Hey, we got another question.
Great.
So I think this is while we were talking about potatoes. So we kind of addressed the first part of the question, which was people say to stay away from potatoes while dieting. Why are sweet potatoes okay? So we kind of talked about that already.
Yeah,
the beta carotene, the fiber, the vitamin A.
That's really a common.
It is.
And on a lot of even like the super low carb diets, like the South Beach diet, which is like 0 carbs.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes are allowed.
Right. The same for the paleo diet, which
Yeah.
I don't condone any kind of special diet, except for like a heart-healthy diet, a diet high in fruits and vegetables.
Whole food diet.
Exactly.
Whole foods.
So the follow-up to that question
portions. Yeah.
was, I don't want to smother them in sugar. How can I add something special and keep it healthy? So what we're going to add is olive oil.
Watch this.
And we're going to watch how much we're using, because you don't have to use a lot, right?
No, we're just going to glaze these. So what we've got here is it's just perfect right now. It is perfect already. So again, the sugar, if you've ever baked a sweet potato and opened it up and eat it like a regular baked potato, you don't need sugar in there. The sugar is in here.
Right. There's natural sugars in there,
Now that we're cooking healthy and we're cooking whole, you're going to be able to taste all these food flavors, which is going to be excellent. And it might take a while to change your palate, but whole food cooking is just amazing. So we're going to just add a little bit of olive oil to this, because that's going to be our conductor to help it roast.
Oh, great.
And I always use extra virgin olive oil.
Okay. Why, chef?
It's the first pressing, and it's the real green. See how green that was? So if you look at the olive oils, you're going to see super, super green. That's going to be your cold pressed extra virgin.
Okay.
Then you're going to see extra virgin. Then you're going to see olive oil, and they start getting yellow. And when you get way down the line, they're very inexpensive and they're yellow, but they don't have the nutrients that the first cold pressing does.
Right. So again, the more color, the better.
Again, the brighter the color, the better it is. And then here's what we're going to do now. This has been going on forever. Sweet and salty. Okay, so we got sweet potatoes,
each other well.
And then we have garlic that's going to complement it. Actually, it's going to add another. And you're not going to be able to taste like, bam, it's garlic. It's going to be part of the profile. So it'll be like a layer, a level of profiles. And then again, of course, black pepper. Come on, I keep it
always.
It's just there and it's ready and always fresh grind.
Okay.
Use a grinder.
Yes.
How
do you feel about turmeric?
Oh, it's wonderful.
It is.
Yeah, I use that in a lot of Moroccan cooking.
Yeah.
But you know what we can do? Why don't we use all those spices that are from the Middle East, that are from
Right.
Morocco, that are from the Mediterranean, and incorporate those into our foods that we eat.
Right. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? You're going to saute some veggie.
Right.
You know,
I put it
a
on my
little-
sweet potatoes and onions when I make it, when I
yeah.
roast them at home. Turmeric is said to have cancer-fighting properties. I think it's helpful for inflammation as well. It's the curcumin that's in it.
Gotcha.
And it's better absorbed with black pepper. So check and check. We got it.
I didn't know
We
that.
just need to add some turmeric
See?
to it next time. We'll do
Thank
that
you.
next time. And it's got that yellowish orange color.
Which
again,
really
with the
complements
color,
it.
you're probably sick of us saying that, but it's true.
I'm going to steal that from you.
Okay,
All right,
you can
thank
have it.
Thank you. So we're going to take, now that these are mixed up, that's it. That's the entire dish. And when these sweet potatoes start roasting, they're going to get smaller. They're going to condense that flavor, and they're going to get rid of the water that you really don't need. So we're all keeping this nice, whole, and healthy. We're just going to plop these onto a sheet pan again.
And it would have been faster, but Chef talks a lot, so it took us
sorry.
a while longer than it had to. There's the crying. I thought there was no crying.
Oh yeah, that's kind of subconscious. So we've got them on our sheet pan right here. We're going to bake these again 350, and everybody's oven is different. Maybe 340, maybe 350, but most of the foods are really between 325 and 350. You can play with that yourself.
Yeah.
These are going to go in until they're fork tender.
Okay.
What's that mean? About 20
stick it in
minutes.
there, huh?
Average about 20 minutes, and you can stick a fork in there, and if it's nice and soft, they're ready. You just don't want to overcook them or undercook them. Oh, that's the worst thing,
yeah.
is undercook
Chewy.
them. It's like eating a carrot.
Yeah, break your
so
tooth.
when these are done, they are so delicious. So simple. So let's pop these in our oven, okay?
The thing I love about that is not having to peel them. It's so painful peeling potatoes.
I know, and you
Sweet
lose
potatoes.
out on the
Exactly.
nutrition. You know,
Yeah,
go figure.
exactly.
I know. So let me just...
So we also have a sauce to go on our cranberry meatballs, correct? So that's what
Absolutely.
we're going to prepare now.
This is a wonderful sauce. I love this. So again, we're adding all the nutrients of the cranberries. Okay. Then we're going to be adding moisture. Okay. Which is fabulous. You know, to the potatoes. So instead of having gravy, you know,
Right.
We're going to
yeah.
use. We're going to use wonderful little sauce. Okay.
That'll
I'll
be
pop
great.
this on.
And how fancy is that for your guests? You made
I
a
know.
special sauce
It's
to go on your
it's not
cranberry
gravy.
meatballs.
This
exactly.
is sauce.
And they're
Okay.
kind of plain by themselves, but adding this light sauce.
Oh yeah, yeah. And when we're done, when we put everything together, it's going to look really cool.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to start out with our fresh cranberries.
Yep.
Okay. Now, frozen cranberries are perfectly good. As a matter of fact, most frozen vegetables, and if you look on the package, it just says peas. Or it just says carrots, because what they do, when they grow these foods, they process them immediately.
Right.
They
So at the
flash
peak
freeze
of
them.
freshness, they freeze them. So you've got them at their best point.
So in the winter, frozen veggies are fine. I always have a bag of frozen broccoli in the freezer, just to add to some things. So right now we've got our cranberries in here. Like I said, we can use frozen. We've got a little cranberry juice.
So
add
when it
that
comes
to
to
it?
cranberry juice, there's a lot of different types of juice that you can get. Cranberry cocktail.
Yes.
So you really want to check on the front of that label and make sure it says no sugar added.
Oh my
Check the
gosh.
label on the back and look at the ingredient list like we've talked about already.
Absolutely.
Look for sugar.
Look for that high fructose
corn syrup.
If you're lucky if you find sugar. It's some kind of fructose, muctose, I don't know what.
Right,
Some
you're
kind
right.
of toast.
Something foreign.
Yeah, we don't want that. We
Right.
want to know what we're eating.
What are you adding now, Chef? What's that?
Apple cider. Apple cider
Vinegar?
vinegar.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to cut through some of this.
Okay, great. So
With
we
the
got a
apple cider
question,
vinegar.
Chef. What other ways can you use fresh cranberries without a lot of sugar?
Smoothies.
Oh yeah, that would be, that's a great
I mean,
idea.
come on, you kidding me? Let's do it. And then put an apple in it, and you get all the sweetness from that. And then what do you put in? A banana.
Right,
Give
and
me a
some
break.
protein, so some plain
Absolutely.
Greek yogurt.
Absolutely. Now, this is a little sugar, just a little bit. Okay.
Okay, we'll allow just a little bit.
Because
Why do we have to add the sugar?
Because these are so tart.
Okay.
Pop a a cranberry in your mouth.
They are very
And
tart.
tell me,
Yeah.
it's like you look like you just bit into a lemon. So we got to smooth that out somehow. But
Sure.
for 6 to 8 servings, did you see what I added? I added a
Yeah,
half a
not very
teaspoon.
much at all.
Okay.
So do you know what the recommended amount of sugar is per day for men and women?
I don't know. Tell me.
The American Heart Association recommends 6 teaspoons of sugar per day for women and 9 for men.
Oh my gosh!
Nothing.
Wow.
You know, if you're drinking soda or eating candy
I don't even.
you know,
that
even
much.
drinking juice that's had sugar added to it, you could surpass, you know, that 6 or 9 teaspoons just by that. So,
Just added some salt.
Okay.
Okay. And then again, I've got some fresh garlic here for this one.
Okay, great.
Okay. So again, we've got the sweet, we've got the sour, we've got the garlic. And I'm going to
All
add
flavors.
a little. We're going to add some more
That green.
EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, which is like the best oil to use for anything. I have one kind of oil in my house. What kind is it?
The olive. The EVOO.
EVOO. I do my scrambled eggs and olive oil. I cook everything in it.
So you don't use any canola oil or
nothing.
Not as nutrient dense as that EVOO.
Nothing beats it. I think
and it doesn't have
avocado
that color.
oil is very good. Avocado oil is very good, but it's hard to find.
I'm sure it is. Yeah,
So I'm
probably
gonna add my
expensive
pepper.
too.
Yeah, but okay, what better way to spend your money than on food?
You're right. Yep.
Okay?
There is no better
You're
way.
putting this into your body.
Right.
Do you want a fancier necklace or do you want
I want a
the
healthy
inside
body.
of you
Yes.
to look fabulous? So when people say, "Oh my gosh, that costs so much," you know, it's like,
Right.
well, I tell you what, that's your life.
Right.
You're taking care of your life. So let's take care of us first.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is this is going to simmer for about 20 minutes. Low simmer. Nice and low. So in the meantime, what we've done is I have in advance prepared.
Ooh, look at that sauce.
This is what it's going to look like when,
Wow. So those cranberries really cooked down, huh?
yes. Oh yeah, they're going to get so creamy. Okay?
I bet this would have been good with the turkey
Look at that.
on Thanksgiving, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because see, and garlic usually never goes in. You know, who's going to put garlic in
Oh,
in
sure.
cranberry?
It's a good way to
But
surprise
we
your
need
guests.
to add, and what I said was, mentioned this before, is it's a layer of a profile.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you don't want it to jump out at you, but you want to know that it's there.
Right.
So once
Looks
this
delicious.
is done, oh yeah, so that's kind of it right there. Isn't that
20
beautiful?
minutes, huh?
Look at that.
It is
Yeah,
beautiful.
until, you know, if you're making a larger batch, it might be a little bit longer. If you're making a smaller batch, a
Mm-hmm. Sure.
little less. But this is what you want. You want like a jam.
So your
preserves,
patience is key
like
there.
a jam.
Because
Yeah.
it's going to take, you said 20 minutes?
Yeah, about 20 minutes. You know, and you can do it ahead of time. You can do it the day before.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And pop it in your fridge
Mm-hmm.
and just heat it up the next day. Yeah, that works really good. So let me
Looks
move
great.
this over here. Now, what do we need to do?
We're going to plate
We
everything,
need to
Chef?
we need to put this thing together. Sorry.
This?
Yeah, we're going to put everything that we cooked together. Okay. So, now I have a little bit of fresh rosemary here, and fresh rosemary would be awesome, chopped up real fine and sprinkled over the sweet potatoes. Potatoes, you know, with rosemary, I mean, that's like a marriage from ever, you know. Oh yeah, baby beet potatoes with fresh rosemary and olive oil. Can't beat it. So
Great.
we've got our plate.
We got a question while you're working there.
Of course,
Someone
thank you.
asked, I like to cook my sweet potatoes a little extra. How long is too long, Chef?
I would say like 3 days would be like a little long. You know, you've got to get up in the middle of the night.
burn down your house
You got
either.
to check them. Too long is when they're like mush. You don't want a mush. You want a little bit of bite, a little bit of texture, but smooth and creamy.
Right.
So what I said was fork tender.
Fork tender, that's right.
And that's usually, I mean, that's a rule of thumb, and people have been using that forever, and there's a reason for that because it works. Fork tender. Take one out, cut it, you know, pop it in your mouth and taste it. Don't try
Blow
one.
on it first because it's probably hot.
Yeah, you want to blow
Don't
on
burn your taste buds off so you won't even be able to taste all the food you just cooked.
it. I know. So we've got our meatballs.
And these are,
These are all
cranberry turkey meatballs.
They
Someone
look
asked what kind of meat we use.
fabulous. Oh, turkey,
So
yeah.
we use some, what percentage of fat did you say the
It
turkey
was
was?
90-10.
90-10.
I got the
90-10
leanest.
turkey.
That's the leanest that I could find.
Okay.
And that's the leanest you're going to find,
Yeah.
unless you grind your own. And a lot of people do that. But try to stay away from the 70-30s on any ground meats. So that's just too much. It's too much saturated fat.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't
Yep,
want that.
not good for your cholesterol and your heart.
So what we're going to do is these are going to be great for a cocktail party.
Great appetizer.
Put a little
Yep.
pick in there, and we're going to drizzle a little sauce over it, and then for our meal here.
So there's our serving, 2 meatballs.
Hey,
You can put more on there, but
I want to do. Let me do this. I'm hungry. I'm going to share this. Okay,
oh, that
I promise.
looks great.
I promise. I'm sharing. And then we've got a wonderful. Look at these things. Are you kidding me? Now, do you see how much smaller they've gotten?
Yeah, and they're a little
Okay.
brown on there too.
Yes, that's caramelization.
Ooh, yes.
And look at the onions. Look
So that
how-
means it's naturally sweet, right? It's got some sweetness
Can you
in
smell
it.
this? I mean, look at this. Take a look at that. You see that? That's how you want your onion to be. You don't want it to have any white in it. That's caramelization. That's when it draws all the sugars out of the onion. And onions are like the best thing.
And we
to
didn't add
caramelize.
any. It was there.
Thank you. It's in here.
It was there.
Yeah. You don't need it in a box. So we've got this right here. Okay.
With
And
the
then, like I
rosemary.
said, I'm going to put a little rosemary right there. Okay. And then we've got some grapes. And then we've got our wonderful sauce.
Is this orange here, Chef? Or
Yeah, stick a little orange on there.
a little garnish.
I call it putting the Sunday clothes on it. Just dressing it up a little.
not the Saturday ones, the Sunday ones.
No, this is Sunday. This is Sunday dressing. So we're going to top the meatballs, okay?
That delicious
With the
sauce.
delicious
And
sauce.
there's still some cranberries there.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So good. Ooh, fancy.
Just do that for your friends, okay? Do that for your guests. And it's over here. I have just a little bit of Italian parsley, chopped parsley. You can sprinkle it around a little.
Okay.
Just give it a little,
A little more color.
just dress it up. And that took absolutely no time to do. And
Hey.
everything is fresh.
Well, yeah, it's ready to go. Someone asked, I'm terrible at making the food I make look appetizing. Any tips for plating, Chef?
Yeah, so look in your fridge. You might have an apple, you might have an orange, you might have some greenery. So what we're looking for is, I typically look for red, green, and orange. Okay, so green, like some fresh parsley or some cilantro, whatever you might have, and then something orange. It could be an orange pepper or a red pepper. Put that on there, and then just grab the things that you're cooking with and put them on there.
So like some cranberries. We could add some
Absolutely, we could
cranberries to
sprinkle
it,
a few
too.
cranberries on there. That
Yeah.
would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, it
And I'm
looks
right
great,
there.
Chef.
So this is whole food.
Let's
This
talk
is the
about
way
some-
we should be eating. Yeah.
It is the way we should be eating. Let's talk about the leftovers. And
There's-
storing the leftovers. I mean, everyone's going to want to eat all your
What?
food.
There's no leftovers here. Are you kidding me?
But let's say you
Of
make so
course.
much.
So what you want to do is, as soon as you get done serving the food, you want to get it into the fridge,
Right.
down to temperature, down below 40
Down
degrees,
below 40,
as soon as you can.
Right.
I use there's like a 2-hour window before any bacteria starts getting crazy. So don't leave your food sitting
everyone
out.
can see your
Let's put that, yeah.
So they can see it.
Thank you.
And storing them in smaller containers, right?
Less air.
Right.
The air's not our friend.
Right.
We want less air. I would suggest putting all of this into like the Ziploc, get like the gallon Ziploc bags, and you push the air out.
Okay.
And then just close the bag, stick it in your fridge, and everything here, these can last in the fridge for like 3 months.
Do you think we could freeze those?
Yeah.
So we had them on hand if
Yes.
we ended up having an impromptu party
Yes.
during the holiday season?
Because when you go and buy frozen meatballs in the store,
They're not good. They're not those.
they're not like this.
No.
But they've been frozen, and they're kind of okay. But no, absolutely, and they will, and you can put them in a bag and just take out 10, take out 3 if you just if you
Right.
buy yourself, you just want something. But yeah, freeze everything. The sweet potatoes I wouldn't freeze because what water is left there is kind of going to leach out. Some things freeze really well, and other things don't freeze perfectly. But
What about the sauce? Do
You know
you
what
think
you
that
can
would
do with
freeze?
this? Oh, absolutely.
okay.
Freeze the sauce. But what you can do is like maybe the next day or the day after, make a sweet potato salad.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Some fresh greens and
Absolutely.
sweet potatoes.
Instead of like regular
maybe
potato
some
salad.
seeds.
Yes, some
And cranberries.
nuts, walnuts, pecans.
Yes.
Oh my God, you just give me a great idea. That's great.
I'm hungry. Is it dinner time yet?
It smells so good. What else? Do you have any more?
Yeah, do we have any more questions?
Oh, we would love to. We would love to
Please.
answer some more questions. But thank you so much for joining us today. This means so
Yes.
much to both of us.
Yes, thank
and
you.
I'm super excited.
So please try our recipes. They're easy.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
easy. And there's one thing to say: eat fresh, be happy.
Ooh, that's good.
Thanks.
That's good. So our recipes and our video here, so you can watch Chef prepare everything again, should be on the Barnes Jewish blog. So please visit that, and I'm sure we can still answer some questions
Absolutely.
after the fact if you have thought of
Absolutely.
some. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us today.
Thank you. See you next time.